There is a moment in every person's life that has completely disappeared. Not faded. Not hidden. Erased. Somewhere in your first years, you smiled for the first time. You learned your mother's face. You experienced fear, comfort, curiosity, and love long before you could speak. And yet, you remember almost none of it. That's strange, because those years may have been the most important of your entire life. So where did they go? Did your brain delete them? Or are they still there, waiting somewhere you can no longer reach? Scientists have searched for this answer for over a century. But every new discovery has uncovered an even bigger mystery. Because forgetting your earliest memories might not be a flaw. It may be one of the brain's greatest inventions. Most of us think memory works like a camera. Events happen. The brain records them. Years later, we replay them. Simple. But your brain has never worked that way. Memory isn't a recording. It's a reconstruction. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds it from millions of tiny pieces. Colors, sounds, emotions, faces. Even then, it often gets details wrong. Which raises a disturbing question. If adult memories are already imperfect, how could the memories of a baby ever survive? Researchers call this infantile amnesia. Ask anyone about their first memory, and they'll describe something from around age 3 or 4. Before that, almost nothing. It's as if someone drew a line across the beginning of your life. But babies clearly remember things. Otherwise, they could never learn.
A newborn recognizes familiar voices.
Within months, babies learn faces, languages, and emotional expressions. If they couldn't remember, none of that would be possible. So the mystery becomes even stranger. Babies are constantly learning. Yet adults can't remember being babies. Somehow, the brain stores information while losing access to the experiences themselves. Researchers discovered something unexpected. The problem may not be memory. It may be the kind of memory your brain is creating. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. You may not remember the exact afternoon you learned, but you never forget how to ride. Your brain stores different kinds of memories differently. Some become stories. Others become skills. Some shape your emotions without you ever realizing it. Your earliest years are filled with these invisible memories. Long before you remember your childhood is already remembering you. Every smile, every frightening sound, every comforting touch. Your conscious mind may forget them, but your brain often doesn't. However, something even stranger was happening beneath the surface. While babies were learning faster than at any other point in life, their brains were constantly rebuilding themselves. Imagine writing a diary while someone rearranges every page every night. That's close to what happens inside an infant's brain. In the first few years, the brain produces millions of new connections at astonishing speed. It's one of the fastest periods of brain development humans ever experience. But that growth comes with a cost. Every new connection changes the network around it. Researchers now believe the brain isn't simply filling with memories during infancy. It's constructing the machinery that will one day allow memories to last. Before your brain could become an archive, it first had to become an architect. And that changes everything. If the brain itself was still under construction, what happened to the memories created before the building was finished? That question led to one of the most surprising discoveries about the human mind. Researchers once believed early memories simply faded away. Babies experienced the world. Years passed. The memories disappeared. Case closed. But modern neuroscience told a different story. Something unusual happened in laboratory experiments. Scientists studying young animals noticed that memories from infancy appeared to vanish. Then, under certain conditions, some of those forgotten memories suddenly returned. That changed everything. It suggested that early memories might not be destroyed at all. They might simply become inaccessible. Imagine placing thousands of books inside a library, then locking every entrance. The books are still there. You just can't reach them. Could the human brain be doing something similar? Researchers still debate how much remains stored, but one thing has become clear. The experiences themselves continue shaping us, even when we can't consciously recall them. Think about trust. A child who experiences safety grows into an adult who finds it easier to trust others. A child surrounded by stress may become more anxious without knowing why. Neither adult remembers the specific moments that created these patterns. But their brains do. Memory isn't only about remembering. Sometimes memory becomes personality. The answer may lie inside a tiny structure called the hippocampus. It's only about the size of your thumb, but it's one of the most important memory systems you possess. Every meaningful event in your life passes through it. Your first day of school, a birthday, a conversation that changed everything. But during infancy, the hippocampus isn't finished. It's still growing, still organizing itself. Imagine trying to build a filing cabinet while thousands of new documents are thrown inside every minute. Nothing stays organized for long. This constant remodeling makes it difficult to preserve detailed memories from the earliest years. The brain isn't failing. It's prioritizing something else. Learning. A baby's world changes daily. Every object is new. Every sound carries information. The brain isn't trying to preserve yesterday. It's desperately trying to understand today. That trade-off may have been one of evolution's smartest decisions. Survival didn't require babies to remember every afternoon. It required them to learn as quickly as possible. However, learning itself may have been rewriting memory. Recent studies suggest that the production of new neurons during infancy may interfere with older memory pathways. The very process that helps children become brilliant learners may also make early memories harder to retrieve. Growth creates forgetting. At first, that sounds tragic. But perhaps it's actually a gift. Imagine trying to learn your first language while remembering every sensory detail from every single day. Every sound. Every smell. Every touch. Every face. Every emotion. Your mind would become overwhelmed immediately. Forgetting may not be the opposite of intelligence. It may be one of intelligence's greatest tools. The human brain isn't designed to remember everything. It's designed to remember what matters most. Yet one question still remained. If our earliest memories are hidden, why do they continue influencing nearly every part of our lives? Why do certain places feel strangely familiar? Why do some people instantly feel safe while others make us uncomfortable for no reason? The answer takes us beyond memory itself. Because perhaps your earliest experiences never truly became memories at all. Perhaps they became you. Long before you remembered your first birthday, your brain was already learning what safety felt like, what comfort sounded like, what stress looked like. Those emotional blueprints became the foundation upon which every future experience would be built. Think about the foundation of a skyscraper. Once the building is complete, nobody sees the concrete buried underground. Visitors admire the windows, the lights, the height, but none of it could exist without the unseen structure beneath. Your earliest experiences work the same way. You rarely remember them, yet they quietly support everything built afterward. The way you respond to stress, the way you trust people, the way you interpret danger, even the way you understand love. Much of it begins before your first conscious memory ever appears. Perhaps forgetting your earliest years was never a mistake. Perhaps it was the price of becoming human. Because memory isn't only about holding on to the past. It's also about deciding what must be left behind, so something entirely new can grow in its place. And maybe the greatest mystery isn't why you can't remember being a baby. It's why the person you can no longer remember never truly left.